What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the show. I know the Elden Ring DLC trailer finally dropped, and it is awesome, but I also think it kind of pretty much speaks for itself. No one needs an 8-minute video of me slobbing its knob. Instead, we are going to talk about the FF7 Rebirth demo because I finally got around to playing it, and someone needs to get deep inside it. And of course, that somebody is me. Well, here we are. After almost 5 years, the second part of the butchered FF7 remake is right around the corner. Be still my heart. And that means it's time to check out the demo and see what they've done to our boy.
He shouldn't have done that. He's just a boy.
The corpse of what was once a towering institution of the RPG genre. This is going to be a super long one. There's actually not really that much to say, although I definitely will find some stuff to say about it. At this point, the devious devilry of Square Enix is a finely tuned machine. They know how to get your money, and they are coming to collect. So, if you're like me, you fired this bitch up, and the first thing you notice is that it's exactly like the Part 1 demo. It's fine. It's fine, really. It looks the same, it plays the same, sounds the same, etc., which is probably how it should be, I guess, considering it's largely supposed to be just a continuation of the previous installment. But in case you're wondering / worried that there may be some drastic differences or changes from Part 1 here, there are not. This is the same Final Fantasy VII Remake you've grown to be ceaselessly tormented by or love, whatever. And if you love it, no matter what, and Square Enix can do no wrong in your book, then rest assured you can safely go ahead, downvote this video, say something mean to put me in my place in the comments, and flee from the scary YouTube video. You won't be missing anything. Your, what I'm assuming must be a very highly paid position as a gruel and marketer for Square Enix, is safe. For the rest of you who want to hear someone nitpick the demo and complain for a few minutes, onwards. Now, right away, especially if you've played the first demo from a few years ago and are familiar with the original, you'll notice that they have once again got the same scam going on here. Like the first time around, Square Enix has cleverly chosen a segment of the game to showcase in the demo that matches the original's pacing beat for beat. Mere coincidence or an intentional move to further cement the illusion in customers' minds that this new remake will be far closer to the original game than they know it actually is. Who's to say, after all, Square Enix is known for their ironclad commitment to their customers and dedication to the quality of their games. The first demo from 4 years ago just so happened to highlight the first reactor mission, practically the only section of the entire game that actually matched the pacing and gameplay of the original version. And now we got the same thing here, but with Cloud and Sephiroth's mission to Nibelheim. And now that they've done it twice, I'm beginning to think it might actually be on purpose and that the customer deception is intentional. Yes, much shock. The new demo likely showcases the Nibelheim mission for the same reason that the first one followed the reactor mission and not, say, the sewer maze or the light switch mission, because people would have played it and then instantly seen what a radical departure from the source material of the game was. Now, to its credit, like the reactor demo before it, what this one shows in the Nibelheim mission is admittedly fantastic. It's really good. But the problem is that you just can't trust it, not after we know how the final product turned out with the first game compared to the first demo. Maybe we'll be pleasantly surprised this time around. I'm sure I'm not alone in desperately hoping that that's the case, but I simply cannot shake the feeling that trusting Square Enix is a fool's errand. This makes me sad the same way the first demo did, because it really allows you to see just how good the remake could have been if only they'd stuck to the pacing, story progression, and flow of the original for the entire game instead of just a few bittersweet sections. It's actually kind of cruel if you think about it. It fucking sucks. Yes, sadly, there are little signs all over the demo that, if you look for them, reveal the developers' actual intentions to be pretty much what we fear, and even worse, show they clearly have not learned anything since the last time, if they had any intention of even doing so in the first place, I don't know. Even in this relatively short demo, there's still signs of the relentless padding that was such a detriment to the first installment. Sidling through tedious crevices makes a not-so-triumphant return, and now features a tutorial for those who struggled last time, along with multiple needless quote-unquote puzzles that are back as well. Remember the sewer valve puzzle from the first game? How could you not? Hope you liked it, because we've got lots more where that came from, and they're even dumber this time. On more than one occasion, as an example, I found myself having to drag around unwieldy boxes that you need to use as a fucking vacuum, yes, a vacuum, in order to proceed. Now, if you haven't played it, imagine if primitive, crude mechanics from the embryonic era of early 3D games circa 1997 were still around, but somehow even worse, sort of like that. Remember how cool pushing the crate around in Resident Evil 1 was? Now picture, instead of just shoving it to the side, you're vacuuming with it. Ooh. Seriously, I don't know how they do it. Move over, Skull and Bones. This is what real quadruple A level gameplay and environment design looks like. And I thought the sewer valve puzzle was a stunning achievement. Whew, that shit looks like baby games compared to the white knuckle thrill ride of ether vacuuming with an object from a 90s PSX game. Wow. Am I being a little melodramatic here? Well, I mean, it's me, so obviously a little bit, but for good reason. The sequences don't take more than a few minutes, and in the moment, it's really not that bad. The problem isn't so much the specifics of what you're being asked to do in these type of sequences, it's that they exist at all. That we're seeing this kind of mind-numbing, substanceless, throwaway gameplay, even in the demo, tells us a lot about Square Enix's design philosophy for Rebirth, namely that they didn't feel a need to evolve or improve it at all from Part 1, and they still have every intention of stuffing as much busy work filler gameplay into Part 2 as they possibly can. And if you think this stuff is anything but shameless filler and are sure that I'm wrong about this, then please, riddle me this. What is accomplished by forcing the player to spend 2 to 3 minutes performing a trivial task before they can operate an elevator instead of simply needing to walk up to and press X? How was the player's experience improved? The gameplay wasn't compelling, the task wasn't a challenge, and there was no puzzle to solve. Nothing was learned, no experience was elevated, and no insight was gained. The only thing affected was the amount of time that elapsed between the player entering the room and pressing the X button at the elevator. Nothing more, that's it. Forcing the player through these kind of empty, meaningless sequences that add nothing to the game has only a single tangible result: increasing the amount of time needed to get to the next screen and advance the plot. That's it. In other words, padding. And if even this relatively brief glimpse at a vertical slice of gameplay couldn't avoid featuring not one, but several of these desperate, vulgar attempts to pad the clock, I can't help but see that as a very bad indication of what the full game will be like. I can't imagine it'll be worse than Part 1, since this time they're not forcing an intro chapter to last 40 fucking hours, but it does make me think it'll definitely be as bad. Does anyone know where Part 2 is supposed to end? How much shit do they actually have to work with this time? Did I mention that QuickTime events are back as well? I don't know how anyone can want to play the original Final Fantasy VII knowing that it doesn't have that part where you have to alternate pressing L2 and R2 to crawl around in the fire, right? Think about how sick that was. Lastly, was Sephiroth kind of weird to anybody except me? I don't know, he seemed kind of bugged out. This is just me? What do y'all think? Anyway, none of this matters. Guys, y'all know it's true. People are gonna eat this motherfucker up. It's the exact type of modern garbage that everyone loves. It's got flashy graphics, vapid, puerile storytelling, and the kind of inconsistent, atrophied pacing that has more in common with a made-for-Netflix movie than a classic game from back when developers still gave half a fuck. Now, all that being said, gee, if y'all love this, I'm happy for you. I'm not trying to ruin anyone's fun. I get it. The world's a pile of shit, and if this game is the one thing that you're able to find a tiny amount of joy in, I don't want to take that away from you. I will take it away from myself, though, because I fucking hate it. We'll see y'all next week for the full review.
Woke up, smoke up, blunt, then I pass out. Pass out. Woke up, what up, smoke up, blunt, then I'm back down. Back down. What? Yup, woke up, smoke up, blunt, then I pass out. Pass out. Woke up, what up, smoke up, blunt.